is my plan to dismantle the deep state and reclaim our democracy from Washington corruption once and for all, and corruption it is. I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively. We will clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus, and there are plenty of them. The departments and agencies that have been weaponized will be completely overhauled so that faceless bureaucrats will never again be able to target and persecute conservatives, Christians, or the left's political enemies, which they're doing now at a level that nobody can believe. We will establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to declassify and publish all documents on deep state spying, censorship, and corruption, and there are plenty of them. We will make every Inspector General's office independent and physically separated from the departments they oversee, so they do not become the protectors of the deep state.
We have built a foreign policy of hectoring and moralizing and lecturing countries that don't want anything to do with it. The Chinese have a foreign policy of building roads and bridges and feeding poor people, and I think that we should pursue a foreign policy, a diplomacy of respect, and a foreign policy that is not rooted in moralizing, it's rooted in the national interest of this country. Because Ambassador Sullivan is at the lead of moralizing instead of pursuing America's national interest, I object.
What President Donald J. Trump just said are things that deeply affect Africa and Nigeria as a whole. Now, I'm going to unbundle what he said and what his vice J.D. Vance just said. Okay, but before that, I want us to take a listen at the message former President Barack Obama sent to Nigeria, okay, almost in support of APC when we were planning to, dismantle President Jonathan Goodluck then. When we come back, we're going to be dissecting what they said in dictates. Please, before we delve into that, do me a favor by giving this video a thumbs up, and please share this in all your platforms because it's going to be an elaborate one. Thank you.
The people of Nigeria. Nigeria is a great nation, and you can be proud of the progress you've made. Together, you've won your independence, emerged from military rule, and strengthened democratic institutions. You've strived to overcome divisions and turn Nigeria's diversity into a source of strength. You've worked hard to improve the lives of your families and to build the largest economy in Africa. Now you have a historic opportunity to help write the next chapter of Nigeria's progress by voting in the upcoming elections. For elections to be credible, they must be free, fair, and peaceful. All Nigerians must be able to cast their votes without intimidation or fear. So I call on all leaders and candidates to make it clear to their supporters that violence has no place in democratic elections, and that they will not incite, support, or engage in any kind of violence before, during, or after the votes are counted. I call on all Nigerians to peacefully express your views and to reject the voices of those who call for violence. And when elections are free and fair, it is the responsibility of all citizens to help keep the peace, no matter who wins. Successful elections and democratic progress will help Nigeria meet the urgent challenges you face today. Boko Haram, a brutal terrorist group that kills innocent men, women, and children, must be stopped. Hundreds of kidnapped children deserve to be returned to their families. Nigerians who have been forced to flee deserve to return to their homes. Boko Haram wants to destroy Nigeria and all that you have built. By casting your ballot, you can help secure your nation's progress. I'm told that there's a saying in your country, to keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done. Today I urge all Nigerians, from all religions, all ethnic groups, and all regions, to come together and keep Nigeria one. And in this task of advancing the security, prosperity, and human rights of all Nigerians, you will continue to have a friend and partner in the United States of America.
It seems there is fire on the mountain after the emergence of President Donald Trump as the President of America. Don't forget, Tinubu did not support the candidacy of Donald Trump and he didn't hide it. They actually supported Kamala Harris of Democrats. Trump emerging as the president of America has sent a strong signal warning to Asoro. Now, a lot of persons anticipated this. Firstly, in case you don't understand the speech of Trump, I'm going to be explaining to you in details. Before going to that, let's first take a look at the meaning of the word deep state. A lot of me have been hearing the word deep state, deep state, deep state, but not many may really know what deep state means. Firstly, what does deep state means when you hear it? It means a body of people, typically influential members of government, agencies, or the military believe to be involved in the secret manipulation or control of government policy. The deep state and its policy of allowing extremists, are you guys getting it? Extremists ideology to flourish may be the actual issue of concern. Deep state also refers to the hidden idea or network that operates in government agencies that control elected officials. It actually operates independently of elected officials. This network is often perceived to consist of career bureaucrats, intelligence agencies, and government officials who, work behind the scene to control, manipulate, or work against, the idea of the government in power, and also work against policy changes, irrespective of the democratic process, whether legal or illegal. You must understand, whatever these guys are doing, they do it for their own selfish interest. You understand? To, by resisting the idea of the elected official in power. That is just their aim, to destabilize, oftentimes to destabilize the government in power, just to protect their own interest. The major reason they do this is because if the ideas and the agendas of elected officials threatens their own status quo, they're going to fight it. There are a lot of conspiracy theories that has been going on regarding Bola Ahmed Tinubu, emerging as a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Before we proceed, don't forget how Peter Obi said some officials called him before the election and they tabled some things to him to do. And he said to them, I should do this against my own country. I'm sure. Please, if you remember that comment of Peter Obi, kindly indicate it at the comment section as we proceed. Let us even shift back to the emergence of President Buhari as a president there. Before Buhari took over power in 2015, Nigeria was rated as a third fast-growing economy in the world. What this means is that Nigeria was in line to compete with China, India, in terms of economic power as a there. You understand? So this includes Dubai. Nigeria was competing. You understand? It like to compete with Dubai, China, India in terms of economic growth. So it simply means Jonathan Goodluck was actually doing well. You understand? But let's take a proper look at what Obama did. So the point I'm saying, Jonathan, whatever was doing there was the right thing. You understand? Okay, let's take a look at this. Why do I mention China, India, and then Dubai? Okay, in the last 4 years, India successfully pull out 400 of our citizens out of poverty. I remember a couple of years, 9-10 years back, in Benin to be precise, I have a friend who just returned from India. I was telling me, the poverty, level, the rate in India, you understand, are there. But let me speak to you as we speak now. In the last 4 years, India has successfully, you understand, pull out 400 million, you understand, of our citizens out of poverty. But the Jonathan Goodluck government that, Obama kicked out, you understand, and he stopped worrying. Where are we today? Of course, Nigeria is the largest black population, on earth. But don't forget that China and India, their population is far, far larger than ours. But India pulled out over 400 million of our citizens out of poverty while we became the poverty capital of the world. The 2015 election was an election of make or mark for Nigeria. It was a period to either move Nigeria forward or backward. Too many things were at stake in that 2015 election. There were too many interests involved, particularly the West. And as it is alleged, and we all know, the government of Barack Obama then never wanted Jonathan Goodluck to continue. He was terribly upset with Jonathan Goodluck. Don't forget that. Simply because he didn't sign the Gabriel right to law. Guys, you know what I mean by the Gabriel right? So he didn't sign it to law. So as a result of that, they worked seriously behind the scene to make sure that APC was installed, you understand, in power. Like I said most of these folks are not interested in us. They are not interested. The only thing they're interested in destabilizing us, not to have same power as them, not to come to their level. You understand? And what second thing they're interested in is what is under our soil. Let's proceed. Now, one of the narration of the conspiracy theories as at 2015 was staging the kidnap of the Chibok girls, which they used to campaign massively. First, I remember was in South Africa. I was coming from church one of the Sunday. I saw a street called President Street close to my church. This street was locked up with women putting on blacks. What were they campaigning for? Chibok girls, bring back our guests. And me, I was not in Nigeria. You understand? Now, we also saw the placard of the wife of Barack Obama. Holding a placard, bring back our guests. All this was staged according to conspiracy theories. Part of what they was used to kick out Jonathan Goodluck as a name. So while all this were going on internationally, the campaign of bring back our guests, but at home, you understand, it was quite clear according to conspiracy theory what they said, which I somehow believe, you understand, that it was staged to kick out Jonathan Goodluck Jonathan. Now don't forget, all these were happening. All this, it happened at a time Nigeria was rated, the highest, the third fastest growing economy in the whole world. Oh my God, how do you feel hearing this? Now, all these guys, they didn't see our economy that was the fastest growing in the world. They didn't see it. All they were majoring on was the insecurity. And don't forget that one of the APC shifters stated it clearly on camera that they imported Fulani militia to Nigeria to create, the insecurity. What was the aim of the insecurity? Just to discredit, the government of Goodluck Jonathan. Now, so to buttress this point, guys, don't forget, Barack Obama, he sent message ahead of the 2015 general election that has never happened. No American government ever did that, but Barack Obama did it. Okay, some who saw that thing, ask yourself, did Barack Obama actually did that thing because he loved Nigeria? Did he? The question is capital no. How can you speak against an insecurity vote to fight insecurity, this and that? Meanwhile, that same period, Nigeria wanted to purchase arms from American government. Guess what? Barack Obama used his power to refuse selling arms to the government of Goodluck Jonathan to fight Boko Haram. He also refused use his power as a water to stop other countries for selling arms to us. Who later sold to us? It was the government of Donald Trump there that sold for over $500 billion. He was the one that sold for us. So how can Obama claim to love Nigeria, sending that high service message, you understand, to Nigeria ahead of the election against insecurity? But same you refuse, most of you remember, same you refuse to sell arms to that same government to fight insecurity. You can see that to some extent, the conspiracy theorists, they have a point. You understand? Remember, I stated that Barack Obama's wife had a placard, you understand, or his wife, not him, brother, his wife had a placard supporting the government of APC, you understand, bring back our guests. Okay, let's pause a minute. The wife had a placard, bring back our guests. Meanwhile, his husband refused to sell arms for that same government to fight the bandit, that kidnap, our guests. That would really, does this in any way make sense? Listening to this, and can't you see the obvious, hypocrisy? Isn't the hypocrisy obvious? Although Barack Obama never, publicly endorsed Buhari, however, he was seen in the open receiving the candidacy of President Buhari. Also, it was the very, very first time in the history that a U.S. president will sit down, send a message ahead of our election. Ahead, you understand? Study his body language and everything. It was a million times, his support of government of APC. Guys, you can just imagine where these guys have thrown us. This is one of the reasons when these guys were fighting. They are fighting Trump this, Trump that. Listen, let me ask you a question. Between Trump, please just answer me at the comment section. I appreciate. Between Trump and Barack Obama, who really showed love for Nigeria? Who? Barack Obama government refused to sell arms to us, like I've said, but Trump government sold to us. That's number one. Now they saw conspiracy theory against us. Trump don't like Africa. Trump don't like this and that. But he sold arms to us. That's number one. Number two, we are aware how Bill Clinton was in Abuja when Bill Clinton as a president visited Nigeria. He visited Nigeria. George Bush visited Nigeria. But in the whole time of Barack Obama, did he ever visit Nigeria? No. He only visited his fatherland, Kenya. They never visited Nigeria. Most of us were excited that time. Black man become this. Black man become president. Did he ever? How did in any way did the black man government favor Africa? Wasn't it Barack Obama, a presidency that destabilized Libya up to now? That also indirectly increased the insecurity in Nigeria? Wasn't it? Tell me. So between the government of the white of Bill Clinton, Bush and the rest, which one actually loved Nigeria? And that of Trump, who loved Nigeria. Now he wanted to come back the third time, through Kamala Harris, all this stuff. So some of you are speaking against Trump. You are not well informed. That's what I feel. Okay, Trump is not against Africa. Trump is not against Africa. He's only against what is to be done rightly. He's against illegal immigrant, not legal immigrant. Are you guys aware that now Trump is going to put up a bill? You understand, the executive order rather, that anybody any foreigner that finish, that graduates from college in US, right? It will be qualified for automatic green card. Are you guys aware of that? And this is a man they are claiming he doesn't like Africa. At this point, I would like to know your take on this. Please don't forget to give this a thumbs up so that Facebook and YouTube can recommend it. And please let me know your take on this. Thanks and God bless you.